Hi everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdi.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel and this week's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. If you are new to my channel, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. My name is Diana and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and I'm in Santan Valley, Arizona. And we are having another windy day today. What is today? Today is May the 15th. And yesterday was so windy, it was like, we call them haboobs or something like that. They just started calling them a few years ago in Arizona. And the dust just is everywhere. And it was weird, because that usually doesn't happen this time of year. But anyways, Mother Nature is very, very unpredictable the last couple of years. So I am going to be doing, this is what I call my Mimeograph Monday with a twist. So I'm going to be doing a project out of the catalog. So I'm going to do two projects. So the first one will be how I think the card was made by the recipe I have, and then the second card will be my twist on there, where it's more my style. And this has been a very popular series, and if there's ever anything that you want me to show, let me know, and if I can, I will. But it's fun. I like that little bit of a challenge that I give myself, and sometimes if you lose your mojo or whatever people say, you kind of run out of ideas, just simply open up that catalog, look at something, and make it. You know, you don't have to do the twist part, just make something out of the catalog, and then sometimes that will spur your creativity on, and you will get out of your funk or whatever that you are in. So that's why these are always fun to do. So I'm going to turn the camera, so just close your eyes for a second while I get adjusted. All right, so that looks good. All right, before we get started, I do want to bring to your attention my host code for the month of May. This is my host code. So if you are ordering $150 minus like the tax and the shipping, please use this code. If you're ordering over $150 before tax and shipping, don't use the code because then you don't get your own benefits. But what this does is it allows me to do the goodies and the guts, and I have a video that shows the goodies and the guts for May, and these are the guts. So nothing is stamped, so you'll have to stamp that, but this is DSP, this is DSP, and this is DSP, and the turtle. So those pieces will be in your kit, but you will need to stamp, you know, your sentiments, you know. But anyway, so if you order $75 in the month of May in my store before tax and shipping, you can choose goodies or guts. So again, these are the guts, so you'll get the supplies. Like I said, I do have a video that shows me making these cards, so that you'll have a video that you can refer back to when you get your packet. Now I send your packet with your thank you card in the first week of the following month. So you'll get your packet and your thank you card after the first week of June. Or you could pick goodies, and the goodies for the month of May are the new Tinsel Gems 4-pack. And there's 4 colors there, but it's hard to see, but there's pretty little tinsel pieces inside there, so they kind of sparkle. So anyway, so that's the goodies and the guts. We are leaving on our vacation or holiday, however you say. So we will be leaving in a couple days. So while we're gone, I'm going to do double reward points. That's May 17th through the May 29th, and you can get this this rewards card off of my blog so that you can print it out. And when you order 50, now this is hopefully not going to confuse you. I have my goodies and guts, I talk about that, and that's $75 in the month. That could be 2 different orders. You might order 25 here and 50 there, and that works. This one is a little bit different because I've had this a long time. I've done this program and the goodies and the guts came later. This one, you earn rewards when you order 50 before tax and shipping, but the 50 has to be in a single order, and it explains all of that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to double those. So you'll just write your order number and the date, and so if you order 50, you know, there's a 50, you'll actually get 2 instead of 1, because usually it just gets 1. So you're just doubling up your reward points. When you get a dozen sunflowers, you can pick $35 in free merchandise from me, and that's something that I do. It's not something that Stampin' Up! Offers. Same with my goodies in the guts. That's just something that I offer as a thank you for shopping with me. So I do have a blog post that announces this. I would love it if you subscribe to my newsletter, because that also reminds you when things are coming up. So anyway, so that is going on as well. So I had a lot to share with you. All right, now let's get to what you really came to see, and that is the cute little card. Now you all voted last week on the stamp set that I was going to be using, and you voted for the Lazy Days, and it's actually a bundle. It's a super cute bundle, so that's what we're going to do today. And this is the card I'm going to be making right here. So here is the recipe. Now you can get these recipes if you go to my blog, and on the very top it will say current catalogs. If you click on that, it will open up a different page, and you'll see the photo of the current catalog, and then underneath it will say download the recipes or something, but you'll notice what it is right there, and that's where you'll get the recipes. And then I would just save that to your computer, so you don't have to always go to my blog to find them, and then you just pull it up on your computer. So anyway, so here is the recipes. So I printed out. This helps me figure out everything that was used. Some things I think they're missed, so I wrote Memento because I believe Memento was used, but it wasn't listed. Also, they used a new natural wavy trim, and I didn't order that, so I changed my ribbon, but everything else I kept the same. All right, so let's see here. So this is the pieces that I need, but let me show you what I used. Excuse me with my crazy throat today. All right, so here is the Lazy Days. It's a super cute. It's photopolymer, so you can see through it, so you can get everything placed properly. I love this. This one reminds me of a dove. We have doves all over the place. These are clouds, but could be used for rocks as well. And then we're using the exposed brick 3D, and this is one of the new folders, so it's really fun. And then here is the die that goes with that set, and it has so many pieces. It is a great deal. All right, so just to save time, since I am doing 2 projects, I did do my my die cutting ahead of time. Now the first card is a note card. So it is, when you fold it, it's 3.5 by 5, and I chose to have it open up like the long way. All right, so here is our pieces. So this is going to go on the inside of the card. So let me just stick that in there just to get it out of the way. I didn't do anything to it. I just stuck it in there, so it gives you a nice white area to write your note. All right, so this is photopolymer, so that means I'm going to use my Stampin' Pierce mat. And like I said, they didn't mention Memento, but you know, by looking at the card, it looked like the images were stamped with black, so that's what I'm choosing to use. All right, so I'm just going to stamp a couple things, like I said, but I did die cut them ahead of time. So we have our fun little barrel of plants, and by using the Pierce mat, it just gives you a little bit of gushiness if you are new to Stampin' Up. We have photopolymer or cling, which are the pink red rubber style, but these don't have that little foam behind there, and this just gives you that little bit of squishiness so that it stamps a little bit clearer. All right, I also need some, I believe that's Calypso, and we're going to use the new copper clay. So let me do my thanks, friends. So I'm just going to stamp thanks, and then friends underneath. Okay, and then we're just going to fussy cut that out. All right. So by the magic of the internet, I have cut that out. I guess we can't say the magic of TV. I guess if you're watching my video on your TV, it is. If you are watching on the TV, sometimes I feel like my TV has a more accurate color than my computer. I don't know if that was the case with you or not, but I do know in order to participate in the chat, you need to be logged in to your Google account, and you need to be on your phone or your computer. I can't figure out how you can leave comments with your TV. All right. But I love when people say, I'm watching you on TV. Okay, so here are our little images. I have them all cut out, ready to go. I also have my vine that's going to go up the pole and the whatchamacallit across the top. Look how beautiful that is. I love how it's really long, so you can do, you know, a long card or a short card. All right, and then here is that embossing on there. Okay, so let's color our images, and they used the watercolor pencils, and these are the new assortment 1. So it's still the same assortment 1 name, but it's a new because they have removed the retiring colors, and now we have the new ones in there. So instead of just saying assortment 3, you know, they just reconfigured it. So these are the colors I figured we used. So this is just early espresso, and I'm just simply going to be coloring it right on here. I'm not using a blender pen. I'm just coloring simply with the pencil because it didn't mention anything else. So I'm just simply coloring it fully like the first time, and then I'm going to take the same pencil, and then I'm going to go over on the edge and just press a little harder so that I have a little bit of a darker shade on the side. So if you are scared to color, these are so forgiving, and you know, they give such a great final look. All right, I also want to put some brown on my house, and they just kind of came on one side and let it kind of taper off as it went over. So there's kind of white on one side, so almost like a shadow on the house. We also have a cute little bird, and she is in yellow, and this is Daffodil Delight. And then it looked like she had a little orange under her belly, so I'm going to put a little orange under there. And I love how they blend together so good together. And then the green, so this is just the old olive, and again I'm just going to color quickly. And the pencils are a great value. You get quite a few of them. So if you don't have them, I would definitely think about picking up an assortment 1 or 2 or both. All right, then I'm going to take my daffodil. They added a little bit of yellow in these leaves, and that just gave it a little extra something something, so the leaves weren't just totally green. So let me bring these up so you can see them a little better. So you can see how easy it was to color. All right, and I just used 4 pencils. All right, so let's bring our card over. All right, so we have our embossed basic white. So I'm going to bring this over here like that, and I'm going to put a little bit of green tip glue on the bottom. So this is just our Tombow, and I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom and a little bit on the top and just a little bit here and there, because I am going to be trimming this shorter. I don't want to put any glue in here because I want to be able to tuck my plants like they're winding around the pole. All right, so I'm just tacking that like that. All right, so I just want to give it a minute. I don't want to fiddle fart with it too much while that glue is setting up, and we can add more later if we need to. All right, then I just want to take this and just use the edge of that card and trim off that lattice. So I'll see, I'll probably have to put a little glue there later, but we're good for now. All right, so let's take our vine, and I'm just going to simply stick it here so it's winding itself around the pole. I also want to bring it here, and where's my pick tool? Hold on a second. Here it is. So I'm going to lift this up just so that I can stick that vine up underneath here, and you can bring some forward and some underneath. So I'm going to bring this one forward, and that will go underneath. So now we have our vine is twisting around the pole. Very easy. And I'm going to simply add a little green tip. I'm just going to put a little dot and a little dot here, just to catch those. And then I'm going to put my handy dandy little weight. It's not super heavy. All right, so we're just going to let that sit for a second and hope that that will be heavy enough to catch. All right, I have a bigger one too. All right, so we have thanks friends. Now I didn't have the ribbon that they use, so I'm just going to use the Real Red and burlap, because I thought, you know, these colors look perfect, and I love that thread that's underneath there. So I'm going to simply trim with my scissors. So follow that friends. Go as straight as I can. Now if you want to use your paper cutter, you totally could, but this is pretty small and pretty easy to trim. All right, so I'm just going to put a little seal on the back of there, and then I'm just going to simply lay it on my ribbon so it won't look identical. But like I said, I did not order the ribbon that they used. All right, so I'm just going to trim that and there. So you just got kind of this little ribbon on the outside. You can fray this if you want. Just kind of pull and it will fray your edges if you want to have a little bit of movement there. All right, let's see if that looks good. So let's bring this over to the card. Now I'm going to put this on with dimensionals so it stands away. So like I said, this is a note card, so it's 3.5 by 5. I'm still going to put it in a regular envelope, just because of all of the the stuff sticking out of it and everything. I don't want it to catch on the envelope. And I love how the leaves are outside of the card. So if I put it in a regular note card envelope, it would catch. So this way, we can get a little bit of fun going on with it growing outside of the edge of the card. And since we're putting it in a bigger envelope, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's see here. That looks good there. All right, so we have our little birdhouse and our bird and our plant. We'll put these on with dimensionals as well. I'm still using this pack from a kit. So they're the little baby ones. All right, so we have our fun little birdhouse. So she's hanging up here from the lattice. We have our pot down here on the left. So it was fun coming up with a twist for this one. So hopefully you'll like it as well. All right, so I just put some dimensionals on there, and then I'm going to tuck this up underneath like that. And then I'm going to use my green tip glue to put my little birdie right there. Just straighten that. So we put our little bird right here with our green tip glue. And that card is done. So let me bring it up so you can see how cute it is in all the dimension. And then, like I said, I just left that plain on the inside, but you could totally write a note. This is a nice set. It has like welcome to the neighborhood, I think, is one of the greetings. So if you have, you know, new neighbors, this would be a fun card to say welcome to the neighborhood. But this is what I mean. So this is a regular size envelope, and then this is the note card. So see the difference in the size, but it's perfect so that, you know, this can be as sticky out as you want. I could have left that even longer, but anyways, okay, so that's the catalog version. All right, so let me go to my twist. Now the twist card, I made it be a full-size card. So it's a regular size card. Again, I stamped and die cut it out ahead of time just to save some time. All right, so this is for the inside. So look at all my pieces. So I still kept with the same pool party card base. Let's stick this on the inside of the card just to get it off the table. And that just leaves a nice white area to write your note. You could always write your note first and then glue it, and that way if you spell something wrong or you mess up, you can rewrite it. Okay, I also am using the Gorgeously Made for my greeting because I liked this kind of rugged. It looks like a piece of washi tape or a piece of wood, you know, that's kind of jaggedy on the edge. So I used that where I'm going to stamp my greeting. I also did a different plant. So I did the little hanging plant. I still did the one in the wood thing. I did a rocking chair, and that rocking chair is so adorable. I did some more lattice. Or ivy rather. I still wanted a birdhouse. All right. I also did the same that whatchamacallit, the exposed brick, and I just did it on the pool party because I wanted this whole card to look like the house. Like this is the house siding or whatever. So let's see here. I also need my Stampin' Pierce because I need to do some stamping. So I need to also get a grid sheet. So hold on a second. All right, so let's get our grid sheet because I'm going to do a little stamping on for my greeting. And since I had copper clay out, I just stuck with the same copper clay. Let's get that out of the way so I don't get any ink on there. All right. Now, this stamp set also has like a floor, like a wood floor, and I want to put that down here so I have something that my rocking chair and my pot can sit on. So I'm just using the copper clay, and I'm just randomly stamping a floor on here. So I'm not trying to line it up or anything. I just want it to be like a floor there. Okay, set that aside. And our greeting, so I want this to be a different saying, and I'm trying to pick that up. All right, so this saying says, home is where our story begins. So isn't that the cutest greeting? All right, so I'm just going to stamp it with the copper clay too. I love that copper clay. It reminds, we had that soft suede before and then it retired. It reminds me of a rusty soft suede. All right, so I want to stamp this so I'm standing up. Let's see. Hang on a minute. Let me bring this over. It's easier if I can see my white. See, now I can see this better because I have that color behind there. All right, so I can see where I need to stamp it better. Okay, so home is where our story begins. Okay, set that aside, and then we can put our card together. But I am going to be coloring with, surprise, the blends. All right, so let's bring our little pieces over here, and we're done with the stamping. All right, so let's bring our blends over. So I'm going to put some Pool Party on our birdhouse because we have Pool Party on the card. I want to bring Pool Party into the card somewhere. So I'm going to take my dark Pool Party and put that on the roof of the house and along here as well, just so we have some Pool Party in there. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just barely touching it so it kind of goes white on the edge. I am going to take my 6 and my 4, so 6 and 4 in the tones to color my birdhouse. Okay, as well as my wooden barrel or pot. So this is 600. I pick those so many times together. So this is 600 first, and then 400, just to give me a little darker shade along the side. And on those barrel, whatever those are, those strip things. There. Alrighty. Then I want my pot. So I chose a different plant. Well, I didn't choose a different plant, but I chose a hanging plant this time. So I'm going to do my light Cajun because I want this pot to kind of look like it's terracotta. So I'm just going to use, which one is this? This is the light Cajun. So I'm just going to color my pot with the light Cajun, and then just go with the dark on the edge here. Alrighty. And then let's do some plants. So the plants in here, I don't want them to be the same color as the plants here. And I love this because they made this an ivy, and I love that. Alright, so let's see here. We're going to do light parakeet for the ones in the pot. So I'm just going to go light parakeet quickly. with all these plants. I love coloring plants. They're so forgiving. So if you are, you know, new to the blends, just get a stamp set that has like a plant in it, and just practice, because you know, nature is nature. All right. So I'm just putting the dark on the side just to have a little bit of different color there. That one's done. Then this one I'm going to do Old Olive for my ivy. So I'm going to start with light. So just like I did the parakeet, I'm doing light first. So I'm keeping it relatively simple. And then I'll do the dark. But I don't remember if we've ever had an ivy stamp or not. And I love that. I used to have a really big ivy, and then all of a sudden it just got sick and died. So I do not have a green thumb. I mean, do I? I mean, if I get ink on it, maybe. But there's certain plants I can grow. I can't grow a spider plant in the house, but out on the back porch, I can grow it like crazy. So I just leave it out there. I mean, there's babies all over it. All right, there we go. Let's see, let's see. And I have a couple avocado. If you have ever, let me get my 400. If you have ever planted an avocado seed, can you please message me and give me some tips? They're really tall, big leaves. I have repotted them, and Jeff keeps going, what are you going to do with it? And I'm like, well, I'm just going to try not to kill it, but I don't know if I want it outside or whatever, but it's just kind of cool. So let me know, like, if you have ever. All right, so this is number 400 on my chair, and I'm just coloring a little bit because I want my chair to be Poppy Parade. I want to have a little bit of red and fun on my porch. So I'm just going to, on the underside, I'm going to put a little 400, so I have an extra little dark poppy here and there. Okay, and then I'll take my dark poppy. I just couldn't resist doing a red chair. Don't ask me why, but I like to have a little red. I have red, I think, in every room of the house, I think I've mentioned. So I'm just going over top of that 400, and that's just going to give me an extra layer and an extra dark Poppy Parade in there. And it's perfect on the wood grain because then it gives that wood tone as well to our chair, like underneath. And I'm just coloring kind of along with the wood grain. All right. And let's do the light, and then we can put our card together. But the chair, when you stamp that chair, it is like the detail in it is so amazing. It is such a realistic looking rocking chair. I love that. So I just had to make it be a bigger card so that I could put a little bit more fun on the porch. I wish we had a porch. We have a back porch, but we don't have a front porch. And we keep talking about enclosing the back porch because we had crazy mosquitoes last year. And now that Jeff is retired, we kind of sit out on the porch a little bit more. And it's not fun to get bitted up by mosquitoes. So I think next year maybe we'll enclose it. All right. So we're almost done with the chair. Now it has a pillow die that you can put a little pillow, but I did not do that. But you could totally do that if you wanted. All right, so let me bring the card over. So like before, we're going to build on our this right here. So this is why I stamped this, because I didn't want it to just be the house. I wanted somewhere for my chair to sit, and my pots and pans. Yeah, my pots and pans, but my flower pots. So I'm just going to put a little green tip glue, and let's get my silicone, because I probably put too much glue, and this way it doesn't get all over my desk. All right. So now we have this cute little floor on our porch. And I'm going to do the same thing with my lattice. I'm just going to put a little bit of the green tip glue here and there so that I can come back and put my flowers. So I'm just tacking a little bit. So by making this a full card, I also was able to leave more of the post and the lattice. All right. So let's stick that on there. Let me get this. I'll use my big one this time. There. Let's that stick. All right. So let's see here. I want my home is where the heart is. I'm trying to see what else I have here. Home is where the heart is. I also want to put some butterflies. So I'm also going to be using the brushed brass butterflies. I'm looking at my finished card. Stick on there. All right, so while that's sticking, let's put some dimensionals on our thingies here. All right, so we're going to put dimensionals on this, and I'm just going to kind of stick my dimensionals kind of in the center. That way, if I need to stick things underneath, I can. Okay, and my greeting. Okay, let's see here. Is that good and stuck? Push, push, push. Alrighty. So now we can start to build. Alright, so we have our vine. Now this time, I want to put my pot first, because I want my vine to kind of come up here a little bit, so not just on the pole. So we're going to put our pot right here. So see, by putting that flower, it gives us somewhere to set our pot, so it's just not flying in the air. I'm going to take my vine, so just like I did before, I'm going to lift this gently. We don't want to unglue it, and kind of wind that a little bit. And then I want this one to kind of go in here. So see, I'm just sticking that gently in there. And then let's glue these like I did before. Just put that glue. And then I'm also going to put a birdhouse. So that birdhouse, it's also going to hold that lattice in place, as I have the green tip glue on my fingers now. So we have our cute little birdhouse. So that's hanging here. And I didn't put a bird this time, because I have another plant. And that's why I put the butterflies. Okay, so that's going to hang over here. And this comes with a little hole there. It punches out a hole. So if you want to actually hang it, you can put a string in there. So that's super, super cool. All right, so let's take our rocking chair. And then you have to decide how much this chair is rocking. And I want to stick it underneath here. And I think that looks good. I want it kind of rocking. So that looks good. Then we have our home is where the story begins. And I want to kind of stick it behind the chair a little bit. Okay. Now we can trim our, this should be good and dry by now. We can trim our floor. And then we put this on our card. Now this is Pool Party on Pool Party. So I am going to use dimensionals to stick it on the card. And then we'll see if we need to trim anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sometimes I can peel those off, and then sometimes they're like right on there. Good. Like this one. It heard me. Alright. Let's put this on the card. But look at that cute little scene. Wouldn't you like to sit on that porch? My BFF, she lives in Pennsylvania. She has an amazing front porch. Oh my gosh. Alright, so here is this. I might have to send her this card. Alright. So there's that. And then you can decide. So I kind of like that this goes outside. It just needs a little glue. So I'll put a little green tip glue there. But I like that it goes outside. This will have to trim because it won't fit in the envelope, right? So we'll have to trim. You don't want anything to go outside the main card. But visually, I like it that it's gone outside of this. I like that. But you just don't want it to stick out too far or it won't go in the envelope. Alright, so let's add our little butterflies, and then I can let you go. Alright, so let's get a big butterfly. We go. Let's see, I want a big one. And I want to put a little one on here. And let's put a little one over here. So there is that. Right, so hold on a second. Get that out of there. Alright, so here is my mess. I always have a mess. Here is the catalog version. Right here. A little note card. And here is my twist. So what do you think? I think this is a very cute bundle. And if you don't have it, make sure you grab it. Make sure you grab it during my double reward points and earn those free stamps quicker. Just remember your sunflowers, your reward points, they expire in a year. So just keep track of your dates. But anyway, so just totally let me know what you think. All right, so let me say see you later, alligator. So what do you think? Cute bundle, right? All right, so I'm not going to see you now. I was going to try to do a whole bunch of videos before you left. Here we are, just you and me talking. I was going to try to get a whole bunch of videos done before I left. And I have, class videos and all that good stuff to do. But I just sat down with myself, myself, and I, and said, do not stress yourself out. Don't get yourself all worried before your trip, because I still have a lot to do before we leave. So I apologize, but I am going to, so I won't see you now till we get back, just so that I'm just relaxed and ready for the trip. So, my body doesn't handle stress well. My body also doesn't understand excitement sometimes. It thinks excitement is stress, and then, things go haywire. So I'm just going to just go, okay, I don't have to do videos. I'm going to take a vacation, right? So I will see you probably on the 30th for my Teach Me Tuesdays. That's when I envision, you know, God forbid something happens when we're on our trip, but so that's when I should see you the next time. If you have any questions, I should have my phone if there's like an emergency or something like that, but I won't be able to probably use it on the cruise, but when we go into the ports I should be able to, but hopefully you won't have any issues. But like I said, if you do, you know, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and then I'll get with you if I can. Otherwise, have a great week or so while I'm gone. I will miss all of you so much. I do appreciate you joining me today and every day and all the time. My heart grows every time I watch our chats on this side and how the friendships are building on this side as well. I do love that. So I think I'm going to stop blabbing, and thanks so much. Let me know what you think about my twist card that I did this week, and if you think that you like this bundle, because you voted for it, so that's always a good sign. Okay, so I'm going to stop blabbing, because like I said, I will blab all day long if you let me. All right, so I will see you in a week or so. Maybe that's a couple weeks. I don't even know. All right, have a great night, and I will see you, fingers crossed, on the 30th. All right, bye for now.